welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday. It is July 3rd and it's a rainy Sunday. We're planning on getting out today and we're kind of waiting to see what this weather is gonna do, but I am back today, and as I promised you guys earlier that I was going to be doing interviews, well, my first interview is going to be with my sister. And you know, we have been talking a lot about being single in our 50s and navigating life at this time and what we think about relationships and just being a single woman in these times. So today I wanted to bring my sister in. I wanted her to be able to give her thoughts on being single, and yeah, I'm excited about this. It is raining cats and dogs right now. So if we have to abruptly shut this video down and pick it back up on the inside, you guys will know why we have the background change. But anyway, this is my sister. This is actually my youngest sister. Her name is Danielle, and she is over 50. And so I'm going to introduce her to you guys. A lot of you all have already seen her in my videos in the background, not really having much of a speaking part, but y'all said she's silly. Some of y'all have commented on her laughter and the way that she has a comedic side. So anyway, today, y'all, I want to introduce to you my sister Danielle.
Hello.
All right, so my first question to my sister is I want her to give her thoughts and how she feels about being single in her 50s. And my sister has not been married, and so we're going to give her an opportunity to tell her thoughts of what she thinks about being single in her 50s. Okay, the first question I'm going to ask my sister is her thoughts on why there are so many women that are single in their 50s. And this is just from her thoughts and her opinions of why she feels there are so many women that are single in their 50s. And we're just talking about women as a whole, no specific race, but just women who are middle-aged in their 50s.
Hello. Well, I can speak for myself, so I just wanted to express my feelings. So, just dealing with commitment after being single for so long. I had two really long-term relationships that I thought was promising as far as getting married, but you know, like any kind of relationship, something happens and it don't happen. You know, the commitment isn't real like we think it is. Now it's like I am over 50 and I don't want the stress and the anxiety of a relationship. I like my freedom. My trust issues are not good with the male because of all the pain it caused. So I'm working with myself. I'm trying to build up myself so that when I do finally meet that person that I can feel comfortable with and just let go, open up, and just be who I am, and they accept me for who I am.
Okay, and saying that, do you feel like because you have obtained a certain independence that affects you being single? Because when you become a certain age and as you grow older, you become more independent. And as a younger woman, we're taught that we're supposed to grow up, get a college education, then find a husband and get married. But when you've had to live and be independent and take care of yourself and you're able to do that, some women find that they don't really need a man to take care of them. Do you feel that way?
Sometimes, yeah. Yes, I can say that. Yes. Right now, I just want to enjoy life. I want to travel, meet different people. I don't know. I'm just at that stage now that I feel, not that I don't need a man, but I don't need a man to make me happy. I can get out here and make myself happy with my friends and girlfriends and just, enjoying life. So that's the most important thing to me right now.
Absolutely. That's the way I feel as well. And oftentimes on the channel, I have men that come through the channel, ladies, and they want to tell us that we're washed up and, you know, that's why we are single, don't a man want us, and different things like that. And I meet so many women who are happy in their singleness. And that's not to say that you don't want a male companion. See, that's the thing I think people get, you know, confused. It's the fact that they feel that we're saying we don't need a man, or we, you know, you may not need a man for your living or to be able to be stable, but everybody, I think, desires companionship.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you got to have a man in your life in order to be happy. And that's the part I want women, my women that follow me, and oftentimes I get a lot of emails from women who are unhappy because they haven't met that perfect guy. And as my sister was saying, you know, after you've been single for such a long time, you get comfortable in your lifestyle, and sometimes it's hard to share that space when, you know, you got to deal with compromising and things like that. So that is surely probably one reason why a lot of women are single. For me, I wanted to raise my kids after not being with their dad before I decided to pursue another relationship. And what do you feel about that? Do you feel that that's how you felt when you were raising your sons?
Well, yes. Raising my sons by myself, it made me a stronger woman. I knew I didn't have to rely on a man, you know, to get me through, you know, to help me raise my children. Yes, they did need their father, but my sons are just fine. Both of them have nice jobs. One has a very great career, so I think I did a great job, you know.
Ooh, that thunder.
Yeah, I know, right? But I don't know. Now that I am over my 50s, I am more relaxed as a woman, and I'm just more, I have more confidence in myself to just do what I want to do, you know, sort of like a free spirit thing, you know. So if I get a man, hey, that's great. But if I don't, I'm still gonna be happy with me.
And that is part of the conversation that I've had, that I speak on all the time, is that you have to live life as if the way that you are, because we don't know what life is going to bring us. And I think everyone desires companionship, but that doesn't mean that life has to stop until you find that you can continue to live and you know, and be who you are and enjoy life at this age. And that's what I stress a lot on the channel. And sometimes when people see me, and I get all kind of crazy comments, guys. Y'all done seen some of them. I had to delete some of them. But, you know, I just want women to understand that you can be happy in your space even if you are single. And for me, I actually believe that sometimes maturity, getting old and mature and then getting married, is better suited for you than doing it at a young age. You know, I know a lot of people saying, well, I want to be young with my kids and stuff like that. And I was young with my kids, but I don't think I was necessarily as mature enough to be married. And I think it's important that you do mature, and because you want to go in a relationship and you want to be able to compromise and work through problems. I think a lot of young people don't know how to do that. So as time has gone on, I think that we have gotten to a place in our life where we are more able to make those decisions of building our self-esteem and our confidence as women and loving ourselves more, so that when we are ready to get married, we're able to compromise more in relationships and work through problems that might arise. And hopefully these little boys have grown up and become men. What you think about that?
Well, I agree with you 100%. You know, I'm very silly, so
and people have to accept you.
Right.
You
I gotta find somebody that accept me for how I am. I absolutely love to laugh, and I do. And
y'all know that.
Sometimes I'm a little goofy or whatever, but you know, just accept me for who I am, and that's all that I need a man to do. And if he can't accept me for who I am, hey, kudos. I'm going to the next one.
Yeah, that's important that you don't change who you are.
Right.
And see, there's so many women out here trying to be something they're not to please a man. And we got all these channels out here where people are talking about these high value men and high value women. and you know, and telling you who you deserve to be with based on your economic status, or you know, how you look, how many children you have. I think that's some of the silliest things ever, because love is love. You got people are different, that you know, everybody don't have to be on the same level financially or even aesthetics to be able to be a match. You know, sometimes you see people together that you might absolutely think they don't belong together, but you don't know what's underneath what you see on the outside. People are so superficial that they think that it's all about the way you look. So I say to women who are in your 50s that live your best life, work on yourself, so that when you do meet that person that you're able to, you'll be ready, and get out and enjoy life. I don't want to see my sisters over 50 becoming complacent, not getting out and enjoying life. So that's what I encourage.
Also, I like to add that some women are more excited about their careers than a relationship.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends that's really into their careers, and they don't even think about, you know, relationships. Not the way that I do.
I agree with that, because I think that also offends some men, because women, they get careers, and their careers give them what they need. You know, it fills them up in areas that, you know, I guess men otherwise would have, especially when it comes to men who likes to have a kept woman. I met a guy that said he had a kept woman. Yeah. So, but women today are more independent, and I think independence of women kind of intimidate men.
Right.
And so if you don't need them in that sense, I think sometimes that's a problem. So a lot of women do have careers. That's a good one also.
Right. I think, well, some women that I have spoken to, they say they're more content with being in a relationship with themselves. That's the way they put it.
And I think that's also something that men have a problem with, because it's hard for them to accept the fact that you are content with yourself.
Right.
Before I got into the relationship, you guys know a little bit about it, because I did a video on narcissistic relationships. I haven't finished those yet, by the way. When I got in that relationship, it was kind of hard for me in the beginning, because I was used to my life having a certain stability, a schedule. I'll say not stability, but a schedule. And when I had to change that to fit someone else into it, it was not the most easy thing, because when you have been single as long as I had, which was like 8 years, now I have to compromise and share my space, or you know, do things that I may not enjoy doing to accommodate someone else. It can be a struggle. So a lot of women, as she stated, have become content in their singleness, and they got a whole thing ritual they do. They go to work, they got the things they do when they come home.
Right.
And you know,
go exercise.
Right.
You know, go walking. You know.
So I believe that a lot of
cocktails.
Hey, a lot of women, like she said, when we get to this state of life, and we always use 50 as the marker, but it could be younger or it could be older. But I say 50 because that's like the halfway point. I mean, you are at a point where you are kind of happy and content with yourself, and a lot of women at that point have found themselves. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. So, you know, we could take it or leave it at some point. But that's not to say, because I told my sister that I just desire companionship. I want the ability to be able to have social interaction, but I don't necessarily at this stage. I'm not saying I won't change, ladies or gentlemen, if you're watching, that at some point I won't desire to have another relationship, but I was fine before the relationship. So that's just my thoughts on that part.
I have different expectations now than I did when I was younger. You know, when I was younger,
I agree with that.
You know, a man's stability, he really didn't bother me much.
That's true.
If he was fine, you know, hey, he could live home with mama. I didn't really care. But now, you know, hey, you got to be stable. You got to have, you know, you got to have.
You got to be established.
Yeah, you got to be established.
Absolutely, because being established is really, really important. When you get to a certain level of life and your comfort level, your economical means of living is a certain thing. At this particular stage of life, and this has nothing to do with being a gold diggering thing, you ain't trying to raise nobody's son. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to take care of a man. And I think a lot of times men look at that, because you see so many women out here taking care of men these days. And this is not a situation where a man fell on hard times. This is a man coming into a relationship with expectations of a woman taking care of him, giving him a place to live, and things of that nature. So yeah, being established, women at this particular age, that ain't what we trying to do. We have accomplished certain things. We are at a stable living, a level of living, and we expect that from the guy. And so I think sometimes men are intimidated by women who have their own things and are established. I think that. What do you think? Or they're looking for someone to take care of them, and that's not every man. So let me just clarify that up. But I think that is one of the reasons why, because sometimes you meet these guys that are not, and I don't feel like a woman should feel bad about not accepting a man who cannot take care of himself. That's no reason for you to feel bad. I know a lot of times people will make you feel bad about that, but I mean, who wants that? Who wants to be in a relationship with someone who cannot, take care of himself? So that's just my thoughts. That's my opinion on that.
I agree with you, but I have something else I wanted to say about men.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I like to talk about men's expectations for women. I mean, from my experience, a lot of guys that I have talked to, they say, black women especially, they want us to be more real. Like, they don't like wigs and
so more natural.
And they don't, but it's a fashion. Yes. Yeah, they don't realize it's a fashion. It's like, this is what we want to do. And just, I just want them to accept us how we are,
right,
what we like. What do you think on that?
I think so too. I think men are very judgmental, and they want to come into the relationship, especially
with black women, especially.
Yeah, when we have gotten older and maybe we have put on some pounds, or we bore children. So of course our bodies are not the same, but they still have that expectation that you're supposed to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And they can come in here looking a ratchet mess. But they do have expectations of us. So when women are comfortable with who they are, they're like, I don't have to accept that, So I agree. Men, sometimes their standards are a little high, and even if they don't meet them, they don't always meet them. They
right.
can, because what always get me is the fact that they talk about women, and like you was mentioning about if a woman decides she wants to wear weaves or wigs or whatever,
eyelashes or whatever,
they got a problem with that. But
to enhance our beauty.
Right, and it's okay to do that. But a man can bald and hair won't grow back. But we supposed to be okay with that. I met you with hair. Why can't I get you with hair?
Okay.
And so it's a double standard. So that, I think that is a contributing factor to why a lot of women, when they get to a certain age of life, they be like, y'all forget the airplane. I told y'all close to the airport. All right. So a lot of women just not willing to change, and they like she said, accept me for who I am or not at all. I agree with that 100%. Also, I think that, some men, and forgive me men, I think, sometimes women, when we become a certain age, we're used to having guys who are a little bit more energetic. And I think the reason why a lot of women date younger, because I personally would love to date a guy my age, but oftentimes it's hard to find men my age who is as energetic as I am or still very active. What do you think about that? And so, when you find somebody that's mid-50s, approaching 60, and they don't like to do anything, they love sports, like watching sports on TV, when I like to get out and do things. And so a lot of women want to date younger because of that, because they want to find a man that can actually, continue to be active in life. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, well, myself, I can do a guy that's I can date a guy that's a couple of years younger than me. It's, you know, it's all about their mentality. Like, you know,
Right.
you gotta
Absolutely.
be, you know,
Mentally
mentally, yes, yes. So if he's a little
mature.
younger, exactly. If he's a little younger, that's okay, as long as he's mature minded. And but hey, I'm a person that love to have fun, so laughter is important to me in a relationship. You know, dating, anything. You know, just laughter, just laugh and have fun.
Just
do whatever.
enjoy life.
Enjoy
Yeah.
your life.
Hmm.
Don't take everything personal.
So seriously
Yes.
too. But that's why I was saying I believe that guys that are in their 50s, often, you know, women are not, they just not willing to go that route because sometimes it's not a good match. You know, it's like, where's the happy medium? You can't find a man that really can accept you and be able to be as fun loving and energetic as you are. And I know I'm gonna have some men chime in on this video and say,
Ain't had no
ain't
couch potatoes out there.
But you know, it's just, it can be true at certain points. And then you don't want to date too young because they may not be mature
Mature-minded,
enough to be able to be ready for that type of relationship. So it's like one of those
Yeah, it's
catch 22. It's just like,
it's hard at this age.
it is.
but,
It is.
you
It's
know,
a very
really
difficult age. If you didn't get married young and grow old with your mate, starting at this age could be kind of difficult. I agree with that. But I do want to say though, I do love my brothers. I love my black men, and there is a lot. Let me just put that out there for the men. There are a lot of respectable, mature men out there who are waiting to find a woman, you know, a mature woman. There are a lot of men that are married, that are very respectful, that love their wives. And I just want to say that.
Yeah, where you at?
I just want to put that out there because I don't want anyone coming through this video to think that we are putting down men because
no.
we love men. We do. We love them.
Especially
But
my
I just
black
wanted
men.
to kind of elaborate.
Especially
I just want to kind of elaborate on why we feel that it is a lot of women that are single that are in their 50s. So brothers,
I'm single.
hey.
Get at your girl.
So anyway, thank you guys for this interview. I want to thank my sister for this interview, and thank you guys for listening. So y'all make sure y'all drop y'all comments below. Drop them below because it's going to be important that, you know, I be able to read them all and be able to respond to them all. And I'm going to share y'all comments with my sister also. I encourage. So do you have any final words that you want to say, sis, about to encourage these ladies about living? And, you know, because I got a lot of women. I say my, when I look at my analytics, the majority of the women on my channel are between the ages of 45 and 65. So you got any final words for those single women that are out there?
Well, other than just enjoy your life as it is now, because life is short. Hey, make yourself as beautiful as you feel, and don't worry about what other people say.
Absolutely.
Do you, because I'm gonna do me. Regardless.
And however that looks and however that is for you, because
That's
I think everybody's an individual and everybody's different. Everybody likes different things, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay. All right, I want to thank my sister Danielle, you know, for coming on today. This is kind of like a rough draft. You know, I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to get more comfortable. We actually wanted to get out and do it somewhere else, but the weather, it's like it's trying to stop now. The weather didn't cooperate, but I wanted to get this interview done, and y'all be looking out. I'm be doing more interviews, and I'm actually going to get some perspectives from men. I know y'all looking forward to that because I did an interview with a man a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and you guys, y'all loved it.
Hey, I got something I want to say.
Okay, she wants to add something else.
Women, not single women, but women that are in a relationship and you're not happy, you may as well be single. I'm not saying leave that relationship. I'm just saying if you're not happy in the space that you are with the man that you're with, it's not gonna work. If you waiting on him to marry you at some particular time in life, and next thing you know, years are adding on, and you know, you're just looking back at life like, hey, you know, what are we waiting on? You know, if this man ain't proposed to you, within a couple of years of a long-term relationship, or hey, I say 3 years max for me. But if he haven't proposed to you, don't wait any longer. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. If you're unhappy, get out the relationship. Don't be like I did. in 2 long-term relationships, and you know, I just really wasn't happy. But I felt like I should stay in them because of my kids. You know, they needed a father figure. You know, because I have boys, and you know, boys definitely need their father. But you know, I stayed in them in the relationships for the wrong reasons. And so, ladies, just if you're not happy, dig deep down inside, and if you're not happy, get out of it. Get out of the relationship, because life is short. Get out here and enjoy life. Hey, that's what I'm doing. Peace.
All right, that's what I promote on the channel. You guys know that I'm always promoting that. Enjoy your life no matter what space you're in. So
right.
You heard it from another woman that's over 50, that life is too short to be sitting around sulking and waiting on a man.
Absolutely.
Live your life. And when the time is right, if that man is for you, like she said, he gonna ask you to marry him or whatever it is you're trying to do. But definitely don't put your life on hold for anybody. Remember that. All right. So thank you all for watching today. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming through today. Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell and thumbs up so that you'll know when I will leave the next video. And for the rest of my subscribers and my sisters who follow me every week, watching my videos, supporting the channel, thank you so much for returning. And I will see you in the next video. Remember, always peace and love, kisses and hugs. And I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.